The Galactic Combat Academy's training hall fell silent as Instructor Zexthor raised one of his forearms, the plasma lance humming with lethal energy. His chitinous face twisted into what passed for amusement among the Krillian species, a clicking sound that echoed through the crystalline chamber. "You can't block plasma with steel," he announced, his translator rendering the words in perfect standard. The other cadets, representing 17 different species, shifted nervously in their observation pods. None had ever seen a human attempt something so foolish. Danny stood in the center of the arena, her boots firmly planted on the metallic floor. The sword in her hands, ancient forged steel from Earth, seemed absurdly primitive against the backdrop of energy shields, quantum rifles, and molecular disruptors that lined the Academy's walls. Her dark hair was tied back, and her jaw was set with determination that made even the battle-hardened instructor pause for a fraction of a second. "With respect, Instructor," Danny said calmly, "I'd like to try." Zexthor's laughter intensified. In his 3 centuries of training warriors from across the galaxy, he had never encountered such stubborn ignorance. Humans had only joined the Galactic Federation 5 years ago, and while they showed promise in tactical thinking and endurance, they clung to bizarre traditions. "Like bringing swords to plasma fights. This is not your primitive homeworld, Cadet Williams," Zexthor said, activating the plasma lance to full intensity. The weapon crackled with superheated ions, reaching temperatures that could vaporize titanium in milliseconds. "This is reality. Your metal will melt. You will fail this examination. I suggest you withdraw and select proper equipment." From the observation deck, Noah leaned forward, his hands pressed against the transparent barrier. He'd known Danny since basic training on Luna Station, and he recognized that look in her eyes. She wasn't being reckless, she was being human. "She's actually going to do it," whispered Cadet Thrikix, a mantis-like sectoid whose species had mastered energy weapons millennia before humans discovered fire. Noah smiled. "Yeah, she is." Danny adjusted her grip on the sword. It had been her great-grandfather's, carried through the Terran consolidation wars, before humanity even knew aliens existed. The blade was scarred, reforged twice, and according to every rational measure, completely inadequate for modern combat. Except Danny had spent the last 3 months studying something the other cadets hadn't bothered with. Physics. "Old human physics, Instructor," she said. "Permission to engage?" Zexthor gestured with 2 arms. "Granted. Prepare for disappointment, human," he struck. The plasma lance shot forward, a spear of white-hot death that could pierce reinforced armor. Danny moved, not away, but into the attack. Her sword came up at a precise 45-degree angle, the flat of the blade catching the plasma stream not head-on, but deflecting it. The impossible happened. The plasma bent along the steel surface, following the blade's angle before dispersing into the air beside Danny's shoulder. The heat washed over her, singeing the edge of her uniform, but the blade held. Droplets of melted metal fell from the sword's edge, but the core remained intact. Zexthor's eyes widened. All 6 of them. "Impossible," he breathed. Danny didn't give him time to process. She advanced, her movements economical and practiced. Zexthor fired again, and again Danny deflected using momentum and angle rather than resistance. Each strike shed more metal from her sword, but each deflection bought her inches of ground. Noah was on his feet now, along with half the observation deck. The sectoid instructor monitoring the session frantically checked her instruments, certain there must be a malfunction. "The human is using Leidenfrost principles," she chittered in amazement. "The rapid heat transfer creates a vapor barrier. She's not blocking, she's redirecting." Danny closed the distance. Her sword, now half its original width and glowing red-hot, swept low. Zexthor, trained in centuries of conventional combat, raised his energy shield, designed to stop projectiles and energy weapons. The steel blade passed through it like it wasn't there. The tip stopped a centimeter from Zexthor's thorax. Danny held it there, steady despite the trembling in her arms, despite the burns on her hands from the sword's heated grip. "Yield," she said quietly. The training hall erupted. Cadets from species that had forgotten what melee combat even meant were on their feet, their various appendages raised in shock or celebration. The sectoid instructor was already downloading the combat footage, muttering about updating the Academy's curriculum. Zexthor looked at the glowing remnant of steel at his chest, then at Danny's face. Slowly, he deactivated his plasma lance. Yield, he acknowledged. Danny stepped back and lowered what remained of her sword. The blade was warped, barely recognizable, but it had served its purpose. She straightened and offered a human salute. Cadet Williams, Zexthor said, his voice carrying a new note. Respect. Explain. Danny allowed herself a small smile. Steel can't block plasma, sir. You're right. But it can deflect it for a few seconds if you understand heat dissipation and angular momentum. And as for your shield, it's calibrated for energy weapons and high-velocity projectiles, not slow-moving solid matter. Primitive doesn't mean useless, Noah called from the observation deck, earning a sharp look from his section instructor. Zexthor's clicking laughter returned, but this time it carried genuine mirth. No, he agreed, regarding Danny with all 6 eyes. I suppose it doesn't. Well fought, human. You pass. As Danny walked off the arena floor, Noah met her at the entrance, grinning widely. That was insane, he said. That was physics, Danny corrected, looking down at the ruined sword in her hands. Great-grandpa would have been proud. Probably would have yelled at me for ruining his blade, but proud. Above them, the Galactic Combat Academy's database is updated with a new entry. Human Combat Doctrine. Revision 7. Do not underestimate kinetic solutions or their capacity for improvisation. Plasma resistance through ablative deflection, now recognized as viable technique. And in observation halls across 17 worlds, military instructors began to reconsider what they thought they knew about the newest members of the Galactic Federation. The stubborn, inventive, impossible humans.